Hello and welcome to the Center for Military Modernization, Warrior Maven. Very significant conversation today in a changing global threat environment. We are joined by two representatives of industrial-based coalitions, one for the amphibious warfare ship-based coalition, as well as one for the aircraft carriers, who have a specific expertise with construction and development of aircraft carriers and amphibious assault ships. So let's make sure to welcome Captain Dave Forster, who actually is a former Navy captain who was a major program manager for the integrated combat system on board the USS Zumwalt, that well-known famous stealthy destroyer program. He's a former surface warfare officer as well. And then also Mr. Rick Giannini, who's the charge of the aircraft carrier industrial base coalition. He's also the CEO of the Milwaukee Valve Company. So both of these experts have a deep knowledge of Navy needs and, of course, the Navy situation. Thanks to both of you for joining us today. I remember years ago, members of Congress advocating for a 500-ship Navy, making the point that that was the case during the Reagan era. Many have also made the point that technological superiority is more important than sheer numbers. I recall writing an essay once about why not both, right? I mean, mass matters, to quote the famous Sun Tzu. I hear that a lot. So even if there is technological superiority, numbers could be quite important. What's your thought about this now? What seems to be a collective sense that there has to be an uptick, and 500 ships needs to be on the radar, regardless of your persuasion on that debate.
Yeah, my thought is this. In order to achieve that 500 ship Navy, certainly you need money. That's a given. But as we discussed a bit ago, the cost per copy drops the more copies you buy. It also drops with if you buy more in quantity. Now we're talking multi-million, if not billion-dollar weapon systems. So it's not necessarily as though we're buying dozens of eggs here. But if we can provide that stability such that we understand that there is a build program for X amphibs over 10 years, 12 years, and we can provide that stability to the marketplace, then we can come down the EOQ, we can come down the efficiency curves, and we can bring the cost down and improve delivery times. That's inherently true in industrial bases. It also allows us to bring in other possibly non-traditional shipyards or suppliers to try and solve that problem. So a bit of it is, we've been in this budget cycle for 5, 6, 8 years now of continuing resolutions and instability in the budgets. With what we thought was in the fight up is no longer going to be bought. It's time to come to some efficiency here and some commitment that we're actually going to do this and do this right, realizing we will not have a 500 ship Navy tomorrow. It will take time.
Roger that. On the carrier front, Mr. Giannini?
I would 100% agree that the industrial supply base will be able to step up, but it's going to take the stable and predictable funding. You can't build the Navy with more ships without putting more dollars in, and they have to be multi-ship awards in order to get the benefit and to get the industrial base to be able to reinvest. If we know that we're going to get a block buy for 2 carriers or subs 10 at a time or LPDs 4 at a time, it allows us as manufacturers and supply base to reinvest in our business, just like the yards do, and improve the technology, get to the next level technology, bring additive machining in, which might be able to lower the cost, increase the quality of the product, and lighten it. All those things are possible when you know that things are going to be built. So that's where I would say we need to focus on is the.
Well, and certainly in terms of the industrial base, that's incredibly significant, because if you have block buys, then you don't lose your skilled workforce as quickly or to the same extent. And isn't that a very, very fundamental element of sustaining the industrial base capacity to continue to propel this?
Oh, absolutely. Go ahead, Rick.
We said it at the same time. It absolutely is. The industrial based workforce is what propels us and allows us to get these things done. It's in a difficult situation now, just like the rest of the United States is, with shortage of skilled workers. I know the Navy's working with $500 million worth of grant money, trying to get programs in place that will shorten the amount of time it takes from a tradesman. Instead of a typical 2-year process, They're putting them through schools now in 4 months and coming out ready to work in either a CNC, which is a machinist, a welder, additive machining, or quality. And we're trying to duplicate that across the country. It's going to take time, but if we can do that and get those people into the workforce quickly continually, it will help us build that 500 ship Navy.
Well, my apologies. It's tough to think of it as one of a number of issues of anything more pressing in terms of American security right now, given how the world is changing in the threat equation. So thanks for staying with us and embracing a handful of questions. And thank you so much for your time.